and or what is important to you?
Well, first off, one of the things that's important to me is my blackness, and I think that's part of why I really appreciate this platform you've created, because no matter what, like I don't think that would have always been the answer. I don't even know if before today that would have been the answer that I would have given to start. Um, but we're at a point in time where like I'm so happy it's Black History Month because it has to be because we need it. Not just we as melanated folk, but like America needs Black history right now.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of King Crush Thursday, the series where we highlight and uplift Black men, because frankly, not too many people are doing it. My name is Val Gay, and I'm super excited about this brother today. Let's see. He is a visionary coach and consultant who really works on empowering his individual and team clients to win now by developing their emotional, mental, and physical strength. His name is Mr. Jordan Holbert. Hi, Jordan.
Hello, hello, hello. Very excited to be on the show today. So thank you, Val.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And I am very excited to have you here. As you know, this conversation is another wedge in the door to open up the very myopic and narrow depiction of Black men that we just see being, that's pervasive in media across the world, sadly. But yet we know that Black men are as myriad as the number of Black men on the planet. And so we want to add to those narratives that are out there, which are not always incorrect. Oftentimes there are, but they're not always, but they are most definitely incomplete. Because one day we hope that a young king who may or may not have positive Black male role models can come to these same 6 questions in our repository, seeing the answers by all these amazing, successful, and positive Black men, and hopefully find guidance there. And then for the rest of us, we're neither male or even Black, for us to be able to come in and see these questions and hopefully have the answers open up our minds so that we all can have the opportunity to just be who we are, as Dr. King said, in all of our scintillating beauty, right? And so I am so glad that you're here today. And I want to get started with the first question, which is, what does manhood mean to you?
I knew that was going to be the first question because it's always the first question. And it's still such a hard question to answer. And that's coming from a person who spent a lot of time coaching 14 to 18-year-old boys who ask me that. Like, we've actually sat and had discussions about that. I've been coaching at Vaux Big Picture High School in North Philly. Me and one other coach, Coach Marsden, started that football program 5 years during 2021. So yeah, we are going into our 5th season as a program. And like, I've had to answer that question, both with someone directly asking me, but also with how I have to live my life now, right? Because I can't go on the field coach thing, and I live in the neighborhood. So I live near the school. I live near the field that we practice at. I live up and down the street from some of my players, from their little cousins, their aunts, their uncles. So like, I'm on 100% of the time now. And that's a challenge, but it's a welcome challenge because it makes me have to be better, because I have to always be the example of what a man is. And that doesn't mean being perfect. So I want to start there. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect by any means. It means you have to strive for perfection, knowing that you'll never get it. You have to make decisions when people are watching, make decisions when people aren't watching, And for me, like, it's always making the best decision for future me. Because by doing that, I'm making sure that I'm in a position now to take care of the people around me. But that also has to be knowing that it's okay to be vulnerable and take care of myself at the same time. I have to be able to refill myself if I'm going to pour into anyone else. So it's like striving for perfection, knowing that you're not going to get it, uh, taking care of the future. Like the future is a scary place. It's a scary time. It doesn't exist yet, but your actions, and I think that's the last part of being a man is like the actions that you take, and taking those actions that benefit future you, which also means the people that are around future you. So yeah, that's what it means, and that's a deep, heady type of answer, but it's one that I've sat with for half a decade now, which is crazy to think about how that time moves. So thank you for the question.
Absolutely. And thank you for your answer. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And so, Coach Jordan, who and or what is important to you?
Well, first off, one of the things that's important to me is my blackness, and I think that's part of why I really appreciate this platform you've created, because no matter what, like I don't think that would have always been the answer. I don't even know if before today that would have been the answer that I would have given to start. Um, but we're at a point in time where like I'm so happy it's Black History Month because it has to be because we need it. Not just we as melanated folk, but like America needs Black history right now, right? And we need history in a way that isn't just about like propaganda and patriotism. We need the real, authentic American history. And like, you can just look at Philly. Like, Blackness uh, connects to like the person that I am, but the places that the people before me came and where the people that I coach and consult with and advocate for are going in the future. So I think that Blackness is a big part of who I am. I think that Philadelphia is a huge part of who I am. I spent half my life here. I got to come here, go to school. I got to come here and meet my wife. I got to come here and work as a sports executive for the Philadelphia 76ers. I got to work in educational technology. I got to sell real estate in Philadelphia. I got to be in an episode of House Hunters. Like, I got to do some incredible things. 2017, 2018 season, I got to go to the Super Bowl with my first ever coach. Like, as a football coach, as a football fan, as the Eagles fan, my first ever coach was my pops. And we got to go, we drove to the Super Bowl. We drove, was it 18 hours from Philadelphia to, to Minneapolis, Minnesota. We got there and it was like 4 degrees outside. Minneapolis was an awesome city. I love that we barely had to go outside, but the one time we had to actually go outside between the parking lot all the way through different tunnels and through the Mall of America, all the way to the stadium, my nose froze. Like, and I love that we have that story. And that's one of my favorite things is about stories that you can go back and relive it. And like, that's one of my favorite stories to go back and relive watching the Super Bowl win with my pops. Given that we've always connected over sports, but specifically over the Eagles, like we can flash back to different times, different eras, different years, different players, different coaches, like that. And it's almost like snapshots of us growing up together. And I think that's another thing. Like I think that I don't have kids myself, but I think that my dad being my coach really poured into me and made me the type of coach that I am. And not saying that I'm a dad to any of the kids that I coach, but I am like an adult father figure type or a brother type, an older brother type or an older cousin, or they call me Unc sometimes. Like watching him do it was like the blueprint for me to do it my own way now. So that's what I love about where I'm at now. I'm the owner of It's All Connected Coaching and Consulting, my own company that is officially 1 year old today, which is crazy. It's crazy to think about the year that's passed and the intentionality of officially starting the business on February 1st last year so that I can talk about the 1 year anniversary as part of Black history is it's just, it feels great. It feels great to be here.
That's wonderful. Congratulations. Congratulations. Wonderful. So, Coach Jordan, how do you want us to see you?
Mm, that's a heavy question. because the first thought is I want you to see me how I see myself, but at the same time, it's almost like, does anyone really want that? It's like, how do you how do you bridge or deal with or process the cognitive dissonance of that question, right? Like, of who do you see in the mirror? What do you wish you see in the mirror? And then what others see, and do they how close are those two things? Um, I want to be seen as someone who's trustworthy, someone who has things to say that are worth hearing, um, someone who leads by example. I want to be seen as a coach, as someone who can help you get to success, whether it's on the field or off the field. I want to be seen as a consultant, as someone who creates, I don't know, creates problems to the solutions to the big problems that we have. And I want to do it at the local level. Like I want to do it here at home because for a lot of time I wanted to try to do it everywhere. But I think the most empowering thing you can do is do it right where you are, um, in your little corner of the world. And I'm also the advocacy chair for Next Philadelphia, which is the urban league of Philadelphia's young professional network. So I'm an advocate too. So I want to be seen as someone who can use whatever platform I get welcomed onto. So thank you, Val, to be able to speak for the people who don't have the platform but need it the most. So I want to be seen as a coach, as a consultant, and as an advocate.
That's great. That's awesome. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, absolutely.
so, Coach Jordan, what is your epic dream?
I want people to. So my whole thing is, again, I always go back to coach first. That's the first hat I put on in the morning. So I hate wasted potential. It breaks my heart. So I want people to be able to have the freedom, the resources, and the spaces and the support necessary to find out what it is that brings them joy, that the world needs, that they can make a little bit of money and like live off of, and like find their purpose. So if I can help as many people find that purpose, that's honestly like, that'll get me out of bed every day.
Got it. Got it. That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Really have been answering question 5 all along implicitly, but I'm going to ask you explicitly.
Okay.
Jordan Holbert,
Yeah.
who are you?
Coach Jordan Holbert is a millennial Black man that grew up half my life in Philly, half my life in Reading. Um, Family means everything. Friends become family. Strangers become friends, and like the more people that you have in your circle, uh, I really think that makes you move to where you want to move there faster, as long as everyone in your circle is there for the right reasons. It's funny. I think I want to write about this, but I haven't really thought the idea out. So let me run this by you. Like people look at a chessboard, right? I think life is a game of chess, and people look at the chessboard and they think that the pawns are useless, right? That they think that if you're going to choose something, you're going to obviously choose to be the queen. It's got the most power, and I get that, but not everyone starts off at that spot, right? Only one person starts off on that spot. There's 8 pawns on the board. Those 8 pawns, when they work together, they make sacrifices for each other. They understand that they're always moving forward. They're never moving backward. That's not how they move, right? They have one creative way to slide and take another piece that you just don't see coming, right? But if you make it to the other side of the board, you get to be whatever you want. And like that resilience, that forward focusedness, that never quit attitude, you can start all the way from the bottom and you can end up wherever you want to go. And I think that's like the most beautiful thing about the game of chess, and in a way about the game of life.
I love that so much. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's really inspiring. Thank you. So here we are already at question 6, which is
Hmm.
anything that I should have asked you that I didn't, or you wanted me to ask you that I didn't. In other words, what did I miss?
Hmm. Your questions are so good that it's hard to think. But give me a second because that's another really great question. All right, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
So you always get to the why of what someone's why is, like what makes them go and like what their purpose is. I think the question that a lot of us need to start asking is what our mission is, right? So you have your why, you know that, you feel that that's inside. Your mission is how you go from A to Z on how you're going to live your why, what your why is going to look like, and how your why is going to impact other people. That's your mission. So how do you have your A where you're at now, your Z where you want to get to, and what are the steps that you're going to take to get from A to Z? That's your mission. So now that we have our whys and we've spent so much time thinking and talking about and discovering our why, that's like last year. I sat in my basement. I figured out my why for my company. I quit my job and I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew it's all connected. Coaching and consulting was the name of the business. I didn't know what the business was, right? I knew why and I wrote about why and I talked about why and I had phone calls and Zoom calls and podcasts and wrote articles about the why. But it wasn't until the end of 2024 that I was ready to ask, all right, what's the mission? And I didn't, transitioning through the new year, I never really do resolutions, but I think it's a great time to at least have conversations and reflect about what was and what you want next. And instead of goal setting this year, I really focused on mission planning because that's bigger. That's about intentions, that's about objectives. That missions change slightly, but if things change on a goal, it's so rigid, right? It's so rigid that it breaks. A mission, that's so much bigger. That's like the thing that moves you forward. That's the thing that, again, it's taking your why and putting into action. So, yeah, I think that is the only other thing that you didn't ask that I would have. Yeah, that was my answer.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
That was really wonderful, and I'm really appreciative of your place in the world, especially in North Philadelphia at Vox, with the young people who get to meet you, and maybe even the folks who you don't know but who are still watching you. And that is a powerful thing, the power of presence in community, the power of presence in people's lives, whether they're young people or not, really, I think weighs more than what we actually think it does.
Yeah.
Representation matters in so many ways and so many use cases of it. And so I'm so grateful that you do the work that you do. And I honor you, my king, and thank you for being here today. And just, yeah, I'm really grateful that you were here.
Thank you, Val.
Absolutely. And stay right there because I want to thank the audience for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. And if there is a positive and successful Black man in your life who you want to see highlighted in this forum, you want to hear from in this forum, please click the link below or in my bio, fill out the nomination form, and we'll take it from there. That's actually how we met Jordan. And I'm so glad and grateful to the person who nominated him. So please keep nominating so that we can continue to add to this stellar, amazing group of men. And I should be clear, I say it all the time, but it's worth repeating. Success in my book does not mean what someone necessarily does for a living. As long as it's legal and is not hurting anyone, I don't really care what the man does for a living. We don't have to be confined to certain career choices, if you will. What I am really concerned about and what I'm really interested in are those brothers who who are impacting their content of their character is impacting the community around them, starting with the nuclear family to the people that we see every day and the community writ large. Those are the brothers that we want to highlight in this forum and want you to get to know. So please, next week, stay tuned for yet another amazing king. And please remember to spread love and have a great day. Thanks so much. And Jordan, thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Val.
Absolutely. And one more thing, because we're going to show this before this happens, but go birds. Woohoo!
Go birds, baby. Let's get it done.
Yeah.